just makes it. Oh shit, that's cold. It might be under 83 degrees right now if we're lucky. Problem is the humidity's about the same. Okay, so this is the transmission that matches the bike. So this was lightly bent and has a little corrosion on it. So after a thorough dunking, we have a new push rod that works nice and freely, and we got lube on it. It works really nice now, instead of being all bound up like it was when it moved. Yeah, you did a good job. It's actually aluminum now. Last time I saw it was kind of a brownish goo all over everything. And you even kept all the crap out of the inside here.
I think I got a little bit in there.
Yeah, that thins the oil out a little bit. It was a little bit too thick. Now to change the shift fork location, you have to pull this up because that has to come past. Now if you have a 22 tooth, you're alright. 23 I think still hits. 24, forget it. And there's a hole on this side that you push through to get it to go out. So you got to take that off and this off to work on this. Now the nut was loose on this thing, and the other one wasn't really super tight, but one was loose. And of course you did reapply the lock tabs that were already on there that didn't do the job?
No.
Okay, so just like they were, not working?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now if you want to make those work, you hit them with a hammer, and maybe they wouldn't move as much. That's what this is for, see? See, this tab doesn't do much because, see, it's on the top. And if you actually use that one over there that would fold around the flat part, it would actually hold better.
Would you get that one with the flat head, or?
Well, I don't know, I might have to redo these yet.
Oh, okay.
So, where's your lid? Right here.
Okay.
Did you clean it off yet?
No.
Looks like that has
Yeah,
some
I'm gonna have to
issues.
fill that.
That has some issues there.
Fill it, drill it, and retap it.
Look at that. Okay, we need a tool. Which drawer? There's a tool. Is that the right tool?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, looks like the early one. Okay, this is a shift fork alignment gauge. Or tool, whatever you want to call it. So it goes on there like that. So if it doesn't want to fit that way, it must go this way. It fits better that way, see? Okay, now see how this lid here, your forks don't line up with the shit, see? So if you put the lid on the tranny that this gauge was set for, see how bad it would have been shifting?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't just keep changing out your drums from FLFX and bolt the thing back together. Okay, after you do that, you come over here and roll it around. You put it over here. And we look at your alignment. Alignment turd. See how that one's the same?
Yeah.
See how that one's almost the same? There goes in now. So now it's set. Now you notice I didn't really move this one very far, and it's way the hell off on that. So you know that's going to be off now, right?
Yeah.
So there's how far off it is. Everything has clearance in it, so first thing is you move it all the way that way. See the gap?
Yeah.
See how they're almost equal now?
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem is you have a lot of clearance. See how it touches over there?
Yeah.
Not very centered, is it? So this is going to work really, really good for power shifting in a low gear, but second gear might pop out. So do you power shift in a low a lot, not much in second? Or do you like the power shift in the second from low?
Yeah.
So this is in the wrong spot.
So how do you adjust it?
You have to take it apart and move things over.
Oh shit.
Or you have to undo all this right here, cut a shim, put the shims in the correct order, which means every shim will have to be cut.
Oh, it'll kick it over.
And you got to move it over.
So you're gapped out evenly on both sides.
So right now this one here is, it doesn't look like there's any shims over here, see? I don't see any shims on this side, they're all on this side.
So maybe even throwing that one over to that side.
It'd make it worse because we're trying to move the fork this way.
Oh, okay.
So this spacer, if we're all the way down the spacer, there's no shims, then we need to find some other way of doing this. So that means you got to take the spacer out and put a bunch of shims there instead of the spacer, but it should work with the spacer, so I don't know why. I don't know if the fork is bent or what. And see, now I can see that dog is worn pretty heavy on the low gear, so now we got a light on it. See, it's all rounded off in the light down there. So down there, you can see it?
Yeah.
So the dog's got a pretty good wear mark on it there. Not enough to worry about, but it's there. It's on low gear, so it doesn't matter as much as second gear would be. So the second gear is a lot sharper, so that's good. You always put the worst part on the lowest side. But the problem is shifting is all out of whack. Now high gear is harder to see because it's really hard to see in there. It's the same thing. You have to move the fork just all the way one way, the dog. Look in there with a light. Try to determine what your clearances are. So you have to roll the transmission around until there's a dog there to look at. Maybe right there. So you look at the gap going through there. And you can put feeler gauges in there too if you want. So this one looks like it's pretty tight. See how close it is in there? It's hard to see in there.
Yeah. Between, okay, yeah, I do.
The clearance is right here. Not this side.
Oh, it's not that side?
We're all the way that way right now. Okay, after you see how close it is over here, then you go the other direction. You see how much of a gap you get on this side. So you gotta find the high spot of the gear, which is right there. And you see the massive gap you got there?
Yeah.
So that means it's not gonna want to be in high gear very much.
So it's all out of whack.
Yep, both of them are too far this way. Low gear is the worst, but we'll go over there.
Sick.
It's a good thing you want to change out your drum anyway, because you have to go in here and fix this anyway. So is it a swap meet tranny or a Craigslist tranny?
It's came with the whole bike tranny.
Oh, basket case tranny.
Yep, pretty much. I guess it sucks.
Looks pretty good. It's got a lot of good gears in there, but it's just things are just, you know, things were loose and not aligned correctly because people didn't do things right.
And so once we do get it aligned, how often do you have to check alignment / maintenance? It's usually
once it's done, it's done.
Okay.
So this is an FL lid because it's on the bottom down here.
Yeah.
FX is up here, so he's going to do an FX instead of an FL. So that means everything's going to reverse. So you got two options. You can either put the reverse gear set in here, which is the drum and the gear, or you just put the drum in there and don't worry about the neutral switch because it'll be in the wrong spot. That's the neutral switch tab right there. Hits the button over here. That's the one that's in the wrong spot. Just change this out and not worry about that. You have to time it to a different timing mark too. These have timing marks in them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out which one to put it in. Or you just live with a reverse shift pattern, so 1 up and 3 down, which is a lot easier.
But the neutral will still be off.
No.
With the 1 up, 3 down?
No, you're not changing things, it all works.
It's just the drum that changes.
Just the pattern changes because you're putting your lever up over here. So all of this still works, except, you know, misalignment wise, but you know, all this would shift normally, the neutral switch would work normal, your pattern would be reversed. If you put the FX drum in here and not change out this gear, then the neutral will be out of whack. If you change out both pieces and time them correctly, then it all works normal again. And you just found out how much these cost, right?
Yeah.
Did you like the new price?
Well, I mean, I'm not too happy about it, but
So you got to decide if you want to live with the reverse shift pattern or pay a lot of money to buy new parts. Either way, we have to align the dogs, the shift forks, to use this one or do it differently. Doesn't matter. This has to be corrected or it's going to have shifting problems. So, which are never fun. Alright, so that's where we're at on that. Oh boy.
woo.
It's only 1:30 now. It's almost lunchtime.
All right.
At least it's not 95 degrees.
Cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it's down to 80 maybe. With 90% humidity. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, I found an FX lid here completed. And this is the FL lid over here. So the FX lid has a lever that goes straight up here. And this has a flat cover instead of this dimple cover here. The other difference is this is a 3-hole and this one's a 4-hole. Because when the lever's up here, it pulls out on it a little bit, and they need that hole there to keep it from pulling away from the thing. Because these holes are made for down here for taking the torque of this lever, not up here taking the torque of this lever. So your FX inner shifter piece here has 4 holes on it. That's how you identify it. The FLs only have 3 holes. The other difference is the drum itself. This is the early style steel drum. This is the cast drum. Now, they made the cast drums both FL and FX. Starting in '74, they all went to cast. So, that's a difference. Now, you identify these drums by the number right here. Where's it at? Here it is. 7-74 is an FX drum. Always. This lid has an 8 of 75 casting date, so this came off of 76 FX. That's what that came off of at one point. This one's an FL. So there's your difference there. Yeah. See you later.
See you later.
So the FL drums late are right here. So they have an FL marked on them, but I also have them where they don't have any marks on them. So some are marked, some aren't. So these are FL. FL is the opposite of FX. All the FX drums have that 774 on them. So the problem with these is the wear. See the wear point right here? They're soft metal. These are heat treated pretty damn hard. These are not. So the difference between FL and FX drum is it's a mirror image. That means this is the opposite of this one. So see how this is straight here, and the other side has a zigzag on it. The other side has a zigzag on it. See, it's a mirror image. This one here has a zigzag here, straight here. This one's straight here, and zigzag on this side. So it's the same pattern. It's just mirror image of it. It's the opposite. So this the neutral switch location up here is different also to make the neutral work. So I guess they're using this big fat one for this one here. Yes, so this has a big fat. That's for your neutral switch. When you're neutral, that'll be over here where the switch is. This one over here. Got a thin one. Let's see here. There it is right here. See, it's got the fat part here, and then it's got the cutout over here. So this one here, I don't think has a cutout on it, but yeah, it's not in there. There's nothing on the other side, yep. So there you go. So that's the difference in these things. So you can put this in here, it'll still work the same, because it's the same pattern. See the zigzag, straight, straight, zigzag. See, it's the same. The only difference is this is made out of a lot better metal. So when you're doing an FXFL conversion, you have to change out 3 components to do it correctly. The drum, the gear, and the speed share with the extra bolt hole. And 4th thing is the lever over here, but you know, we'll say that's a freebie. You already should know that. So anyway, so those are differences. And of course, all of these you have to go in there and reset the shift forks because none of these are machined equally. Just like the dogs are off on this one with this cover, even though they shouldn't be, or with this cover here I should say. They're still off, so anyway, it's just, you never know. So put that in neutral, the gears are in neutral, the lid goes on. See if you put it in the right spot. There you go. You drop in nice and easy and line everything up. So there you go. That one's in neutral right there. Alright, that's it for tonight. It is nice and early. Almost 3.